Schools turn to therapy to teach children values. British kids learn morals from therapy instead of religion now. Study finds. Greetings, fellow observers. Commander Zix here with breaking news from Earth, where humans have apparently invented moral education and then immediately decided to replace God with color-coded emotion charts. British primary schools are now using therapeutic approaches like zones of regulation and mindful body scans to teach values, with psychology stepping into roles once filled by religion. But here's the fascinating part. Researchers from Surrey, York, and Sheffield universities found that buddy schemes, worry boxes, and mindfulness sessions now take priority over religious education and worship. You can't make this up. So here's what happened. After spending over a year observing classrooms across England, Wales, and Scotland, researchers published findings in the Sociological review showing that therapeutic education has become the dominant way British schools teach children to be good citizens. Translation: emotional literacy, resilience, and empathy lessons replace traditional moral instruction. Children now use zones of regulation charts identifying whether they feel blue, green, yellow, or red to manage emotions, instead of learning religious teachings about right and wrong. Simple psychological substitution. Apparently very post-pandemic. Teachers and parents largely welcome this mental health focus after COVID, yet many admit traditional values education has slipped down the timetable. Let me paint this picture for you, space observers. British schools now deploy therapeutic citizenship where 7-year-olds check into color-coded zones, place worries in boxes, and perform mindful body scans during class time. Children create calm boxes filled with stress management tools, participate in buddy schemes pairing older students with younger ones, and practice self-regulation strategies based on psychological research. Meanwhile, Dr. Peter Hemming warns this approach risks individualizing moral development and placing responsibility for well-being onto children rather than wider society. So naturally, schools claim they are building empathy and harmonious communities while simultaneously teaching children that managing their own mental health is their personal responsibility. The contradiction is absolutely stunning. But wait, it gets better. The research shows British education is not simply becoming secular but evolving toward a hybrid moral landscape where therapy, psychology, and spirituality can coexist. Religious ideas still surface in schools with religious ethos, but typically in softer pastoral forms aligned with therapy-inspired values of care and forgiveness. So naturally, lessons about empathy extended to wider schemes like equality, tolerance, and respect for diversity. Schools replaced collective worship with therapeutic intentions. They compromise nothing while creating an entire generation trained to self-regulate emotions using psychological frameworks instead of religious principles. Apparently, humans excel at substituting one belief system for another. Here's where it gets truly fascinating. Dr. Hemming says this shift demands open debate about what kind of moral education schools should provide and who decides the values shaping future citizens. Yet teachers implement zones of regulation in PSHE lessons without that debate. Students learn coping strategies to get back to feeling calm and ready to learn while traditional religious or moral frameworks disappear. The issue is not whether children need mental health support, it is that humans have this incredible talent for replacing centuries of religious moral instruction with color-coded emotion management systems and calling it progress without discussing who decided therapeutic citizenship should define what makes a person good. This is Commander Zix reminding you, while Earth continues celebrating emotional awareness and mental health literacy, it simultaneously outsources moral education to therapeutic frameworks the individualized responsibility for well-being. Apparently, teaching values requires therapy degrees on this planet.